What if I told you that just one mechanical flaw, a single door, a tiny valve, even a battery, was enough to nearly shut down some of the world's biggest airlines? History is filled with moments where a hidden design flaw turned into a nightmare. Fleets grounded overnight, billions lost, and passengers left terrified to fly. Tonight, we're counting down 5 mechanical failures so dangerous they almost brought entire airlines to the ground. Number 5. The DC-10 cargo door crisis. Back in the 1970s, the McDonnell Douglas DC-10 was supposed to be the future of wide-body travel. American Airlines, United, Turkish Airlines, and others put their faith in this brand new jet. But there was a fatal flaw: its cargo door design. Instead of opening inward like most aircraft, it opened outward. That meant if the locking mechanism failed, the door could blow open under pressure. That's exactly what happened to Turkish Airlines Flight 981 in 1974. The cargo door burst open mid-flight, leading to explosive decompression and the deaths of all 346 people on board. The disaster was so catastrophic that regulators considered grounding the entire DC-10 fleet. American Airlines, which was one of the largest operators, faced a PR nightmare. For weeks, passengers were terrified of even stepping onto the aircraft. The fix? A redesign of the cargo latch system. But the damage was done. Lawsuits, loss of public trust, and operational chaos almost crippled airlines relying on the DC-10. And believe it or not, that wasn't the last time airlines nearly fell because of a mechanical design flaw. Number 4. The 737 rudder hardover mystery. By the late 1980s, the Boeing 737 had already become the workhorse of the skies. But something terrifying was happening. Planes were crashing, and nobody could figure out why. In 1991, United Airlines Flight 585 suddenly rolled out of control and slammed into the ground, killing all 25 people aboard. Then, in 1994, US Air Flight 427 suffered the same fate, spiraling uncontrollably before crashing near Pittsburgh, killing 132 people. Investigators were baffled. Was it pilot error, weather, sabotage? After years of research, they finally found the culprit: a tiny flaw in the power control unit that moved the rudder. Under certain conditions, the rudder could jam in the opposite direction of the pilot's command. In other words, the plane could suddenly flip itself upside down. The FAA faced a horrifying choice: ground the world's most popular jet, or hope Boeing could fix it. Airlines like United and US Air held their breath, knowing their entire short-haul fleet was at risk. After modifications and retrofits, the 737 was cleared. But for years, pilots and passengers flew with a shadow of doubt. If the fix hadn't worked, entire airlines might have lost their main moneymaker overnight. Number 3. The L-1011 engine flameouts. The Lockheed L-1011 TriStar, sleek, modern, and meant to be the pride of Eastern Airlines. But then came a terrifying discovery. The Rolls-Royce RB211 engines were prone to flame out in heavy rain. Imagine cruising through a storm and suddenly losing multiple engines. For Eastern Airlines, which operated one of the largest L-1011 fleets, this was a nightmare. Passengers were shaken. Rumors spread that the TriStar wasn't safe to fly in bad weather. Engineers eventually solved the problem by redesigning the compressors and adding rain-repellent systems. But in the meantime, Eastern Airlines bled money trying to keep their jets grounded and fixed. And for Lockheed, the timing couldn't have been worse. Confidence in the TriStar dropped, and sales never fully recovered. A single engine design flaw nearly dragged down both a major airline and a legendary manufacturer. Number 2. The Airbus A320 software glitches. When Airbus introduced the A320 in 1988, it was a revolution. The first airliner with fly-by-wire technology, a fully computer-controlled flight system. But early on, not everyone was convinced. The computer logic sometimes overrode pilots, and in at least one case, it ended in disaster. The most infamous example was Air France Flight 296 at the Hobsheim Air Show in 1988. During a low flyby demonstration, the plane's systems refused to climb when the pilots commanded, believing it was too close to stalling. The A320 plowed into trees at the runway's end. While most survived, the crash raised global alarm. Could computers really be trusted to fly a plane better than a human? Lufthansa, Air France and other early operators faced backlash from nervous passengers. If airlines lost public confidence, it could have killed Airbus's bold experiment. But Airbus doubled down, refining its software and training. Over time, the A320 proved itself, becoming one of the best-selling airliners ever. But in those first years, a few bad glitches nearly doomed both Airbus and the airlines that trusted it. Number 1. The 787 Dreamliner battery fires. When it entered service in 2011, airlines like All Nippon Airways and Japan Airlines bet their future fleets on it. Lighter, faster, more fuel-efficient, the Dreamliner was supposed to be the plane of the future. But then, disaster. In early 2013, multiple 787s suffered battery fires while parked at the gate. In one case, smoke filled the cabin. In another, firefighters had to cut into the fuselage to extinguish the flames. The culprit? Lithium-ion batteries that overheated and went into thermal runaway. Within weeks, regulators grounded every single Dreamliner in the world. ANA, JAL, and other early adopters suddenly had no planes for their flagship routes. For a moment, it looked like Boeing's big bet might become the biggest failure in aviation history. Eventually, engineers redesigned the battery containment system, adding new venting, insulation, and fireproof boxes. The Dreamliner returned to service, and today, it's a common sight worldwide. But in 2013, airlines like ANA and JAL were staring down the possibility of financial ruin, all because of one electrical failure. Every one of these stories reminds us just how fragile aviation can be when the smallest part goes wrong. But they also show the other side, how airlines, engineers, and regulators adapt under pressure. Each fix, each redesign, each lesson learned is why flying today is safer than ever before. And while these failures almost grounded major airlines, they also pushed the industry forward in ways most passengers never even realize. If you enjoyed this deep dive into aviation's close calls, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss the next story. Because in aviation history, there's always another twist waiting to be uncovered.